Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Sports Shorts Daily. Ronnie Rants alongside Tommy Chrysan. TK joining us at his home away from home. Tremonti's meat and seafood over there on Jefferson Highway, just past Parkview Baptist, right off Airline. I am in an undisclosed location presented by the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame. Check out the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, lasportshall.com. New 2025 class coming September 11th, a week from now. Of course, we're presented by LeBear's Casino. LeBear's Casino, our title sponsor for everything in the world of sports shorts. A lot to get to today. LSU 18, 19, depending on which poll, which is where Tommy had the Tigers. So they've fallen outside of that top 12 for now, 18th, 19th in the country. I'll have to get Tommy to tell us where USC is. I'm curious about that. Notre Dame's gotten a lot of love. They're in the top 10 in all the polls. They're the hot topic after the big win over in Texas A&M over the weekend. Georgia was the top team in the land and looked like it against Clemson. NFL football starts on Thursday. Tomorrow night, Chiefs, the Ravens get underway. They are the first game of the year, Thursday night football. Friday, a little Brazil football. Packers taking on the Eagles. A lot of controversy around that. We'll get to it. Saints are a 4-point favorite at home against the Panthers. I don't think you're going to hear us say that a whole lot this year, that the Saints are a 4-point favorite. If the season goes the way we all think it will. Scotty Scheffler wins over the weekend. He's the FedEx Cup winner, which he deserved to be. Tommy's going to tell you how much he made. I'm going to tell you how much the caddy made, which is really the story. But Scotty Scheffler just finished one of the most magical seasons ever. I mean, it was a Tiger Woods type year. And the amount of money he made is just mind-blowing. The passing of a legend. If you are a college baseball fan, then you've heard of the name Wayne Graham. Well, if not, we'll tell you who he is. He passed away at the age of 88. Paul Skeens just continues to roll on, gets win number 9, ERA just a tick over 2 on a losing team. Paul Skeens is 9-2. That's all you need to know. What kind of great year he's having. The high school football season is underway. We'll tell you about the Thursday and Friday games of the week to watch locally on TV. But let's first start with LSU. Brian Kelly had his press conference yesterday. Nothing real earth-shattering came out of it. I guess he doubled down on the whole personal foul penalty thing.
Yeah, he said it's not going to happen again. These kids are emotional, and he said they were sorry and all that. Hey, he's the coach. He can handle it how he wants. Everybody's got an idea of how to handle it, but Brian Kelly's the coach. He's getting paid the big bucks. And, of course, Lane Kiffin fired a little salvo at him, because he was all excited, because Kelly pounded the table and all, and Lane said, maybe you need a Coke Zero, trying to get him to calm down a little bit. Lane Kiffin's always good for a quote. He has taken over the Spurrier thing of he's good for a quote, and he's not afraid to say whatever he's thinking. But nothing earth-shattering out of the press conference. They're going to run the football, and they're going to be able to run it against Nichols. Come on. They're going to be able to run it. They're going to rush for 225 yards, and everybody's going to think the run game's fixed, okay? Well, that remains to be seen. But, the old saying, Roddy, the most improvement comes between week 1 and 2. Everybody says that. Been saying that for a long, long time. I first heard Jerry DiNardo say that. That's how long he's been saying it. So we'll see. And maybe just what the doctor ordered with Nichols, have not seen a point spread yet. I looked this morning all over the covers.com and oddsandends.com. No point spread, but it will come out, probably Friday, maybe late Thursday. We'll get a point spread. But Tim Rebowe brings the Nichols Colonels in. First time Nichols ever plays in Tiger Stadium. They lost a tough one to Louisiana Tech in Ruston last week. Nichols has won the Southland the last couple of years in football and baseball, for that matter. But, they're going to have a good team, but it's going to be named that school. Somewhere LSU's going to have somewhere north of 40, and Nichols might get 10 points. That's what I see. Now, I was dead wrong last week, so, take it for what it's worth. But and then he had to backtrack. After the game, you could take his comments as throwing Nussmeier under the bus because he said the other quarterback outplayed Nussmeier. We walked that back yesterday. But, Kelly, when he was at Notre Dame, there were times he threw players under the bus or he threw, the offense or the special teams or whatever. So that's not new for him to do that. It's just, and he walked it back about Nussmeier played a good game and, did so many good things and threw some really good passes. But
That
I mean, we overanalyze. I mean, just like the nation's overreacting to the polls. Like, okay, Notre Dame's going to win it all now. Florida State not going to be in the play, and they may not be in the playoff, but a lot of overreaction. There's a lot of football to be played, a whole lot of football in all these conferences in the group of five. I mean, a lot of things are going to happen that we are not going to expect to happen. So you got to let it, use the Rams line. Let it play out. We got to let it play out.
he did say, and this is why you got to take the whole press conference and watch it in its entirety, is that in the press conference after the game, he did say that Nussmeier played well. Later on, he mentioned in passing, blah, 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 their quarterback outplayed ours, which he did. Like he did.
And he won the game. If you win the game, you could, come on.
He had more yards. He averaged more yards on the big plays, and he played better in the second half. And he made the plays in the fourth quarter to win. And he did play better. Now, I mean, it wasn't a knock on Nussmeier as much as it was their guy outplayed. I just love it how okay, we don't really want them to say anything. We really don't. Because every time they do say anything, they're overanalyzed. So here's the deal: people don't complain about coaches and quarterbacks. Why even have press conferences? What seriously? Like, why even? Because God forbid they tell you exactly how they feel, and then we critique and overanalyze every little thing they say. And he threw this guy under the bus. He threw his players under the bus. No, he didn't. But if you want to take it that way, you can. And so therefore, why the F would they even do a press conference other than, yeah, we played hard, we tried the best we can. They were better than us today. Hey, it's my fault. I was the coach. We should have won. I mean, we can just script out all the bullshit answers they're supposed to give us, because the minute they give you a real answer that has some real teeth to it, that's not overly critical, it's just the truth. Oh my God, you shouldn't have said that. You're terrible. Like, oh, Jesus.
Well, Ronnie, I did this years ago when we had Tigers Roar show and all that. I used to, before a press conference, I'd write down 5 bullet points before it started. And I'd say, this is what the coach is going to say. Because you and I have seen hundreds and hundreds of press conferences at all levels. Okay. And now, of course, high school coaches do press conferences all the time. They're on the radio and TV when, more than they used to be. But, so you almost can expect. The only time you really have anything is when a comment is made of substance, And then now, of course, we didn't talk about this, but in the SEC now, when they have an SEC opponent, they got to get a player availability report, which is really like the NFL's injury report. They're required for SEC games when you like next week, 2 weeks when LSU plays South Carolina, they're gonna have to release a player availability report regarding injury. One, that's for the gamblers. Two, it's for the fans to know who might play, who might not play, mostly for the gamblers. Okay. They won't say that, but that's what it's for. So anyway, so all that's coming and again, it's kind of it is what it is. And hopefully the majority of the fans understand that, unless a coach makes some, okay, we are, if the coach would have came out yesterday, we are benching Nussmeier, we're going with Ricky Collins. Now that's something of substance. Of course, he didn't say that, and he's not going to say that. But everything else he said is just coach speak, in my opinion, for being somebody that's old and has seen hundreds on top of hundreds of press conferences.
All right, we move on to the NFL. We'll have a lot on Friday. We'll know what the LSU Nichols line is. I suspect 42 would be the number. Maybe higher. Chiefs and Ravens get the NFL underway. Obviously, Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes, they're going to move the meter with the ratings. Chiefs have won 2 Super Bowls in a row, going for 3, which has never been done. That a team has won 3 Super Bowls in a row. Is this the year it happens?
I don't know. Well, and the Super Bowl's in New Orleans, so we may get an up close look at it. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, by the way, on the non-football injury list. He won't play the first 4 games for the Chiefs, which means you won't see him tomorrow night. But Andy Reid and the Chiefs, their record speaks for itself. As the old coach Denny Green says, you are what your record says you are. Where they're going for a third straight Super Bowl, and they'll open at home against a very good Ravens team with Lamar Jackson and a lot of other good players. So it should be a good lid lifter. You know what's that? About 7, 8, 9 years ago, the NFL started with a Super Bowl champion at home on a Thursday night standalone game. There's no other games on. Opens the season, kind of the kickoff of the season, and all that stuff. So a lot of people are going to watch tomorrow night. And the Kelsey Taylor Swift thing, all that rumors that they broke up have been denied. I mean, it's just people don't have a lot to do, Ronnie. I mean, you're a busy guy. I'm a busy guy. I don't care about Travis Kelsey and Taylor Swift at all.
Well, I know the NFL does because
Yeah, well,
interest was through the roof and jersey sales for Kelsey and all that. By the way, he and his brother just signed $100 million podcast deal. So tell
well.
me Swift doesn't help move the meter.
By the way, you remember Patrick Surtain, the kid from New Orleans, the people in the back. His son, Patrick Surtain II, just got a $98 million contract from the Broncos. He's the highest paid defensive back in the history of the NFL.
Hmm. Clyde Edwards-Helaire missing the first 4 games of the uh, claims suffering PTSD from the shooting that took place before his final season at LSU. If you remember, he and a friend, teammate, went to the northern part of Baton Rouge to go buy a video game console and some equipment off of an online purchase. Didn't know the seller, met them, and basically, was making the transaction and got robbed. They attempted robbery, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who's legally carrying a weapon in his vehicle, shot and killed the perpetrator in basically hand-to-hand combat. I mean, talk about being in a vehicle and turning around and firing in the back seat and killing someone. And I always thought that's going to be a documentary one day. We're going to find out the True Hollywood story and the behind the scenes of it all and the details. And I always thought unbelievable how he basically put that to the side and went on about his life, and had this fantastic, finish to his career and won the national championship and all that. Well, it's reared its ugly head later on in life, manifested itself in ways that we don't really know. And he's had some struggles and is getting some help right now. I wonder, Tommy, for a guy like Clyde, and it's not that he's had a long career, I mean, but he's been in the league 5 years or so. I wonder, uh, is he good enough for teams to want to put up with this? And what I mean by that is, when you've got special circumstances around you, and teams have to make concessions for you, or teams have to go above and beyond for your mental health or well-being or whatever. Yeah, they're obligated by being their business or the contract with the players association. They're obligated to do certain things. But once you're cleared, once you're okay, do they want to take a chance on you? Because they want to know that they can count on people day in and day out. And is Clyde good enough? Does he have enough tread on the tire at this point in his career for teams to make special concessions for him? That's my concern once he gets through what he's going through right now.
Yeah, and I don't think he's the only guy in the NFL that has things that get dealt with. And here's the harsh reality: if they think he can be on the 53-man roster and help win football games, they'll put up with the other stuff. One of the great lines ever on TV when I was hosting Tigers Roar with Jordy Hultberg many years ago, when Clyde Edwards-Helaire was coming out of Catholic High and signed with LSU. I remember, and he's only 5'5" or 5'6". He's one of the smaller guys in the NFL. And I remember Jordy Hultberg asking him, so look, you're only 5'5", 5'6". Are you going to be able to make it at the collegiate level? And his answer, he didn't know the question was coming, was, hey, last time I looked, the holes are left to right, not up and down. And I never forgot that. It was just like a great answer. He didn't know Jordy was going to ask him that question. And of course, his career at LSU speaks for itself. He's got Super Bowl rings, and He's made some money, and let's hope he can work through the situation that he's working through.
We know he's a class act and a really good human being and a heck of a football player. And definitely Tiger Nation and Catholic High Bear Nation are pulling for him. All right, Friday is going to be the Packers versus Eagles, and first ever game in Brazil. But this game has been marred by controversy for months and months and months. Why?
Well, the crime rate in Sao Paulo, Brazil, where the game's going to be played, is extremely high. The NFL players have been told, the Eagles and Packers have been told by the NFL, do not leave your hotel room because it's dangerous. I'm sure NFL teams, some players, when they get into a city, they check it out a little bit, especially if they've never been there before. They don't want them to do that. Defensive back Darius Slay for the Eagles did a podcast and said, I told my family, do not come to Brazil to watch me play. It's too dangerous. I'm holed up in the hotel. We can't go get lunch. We can't go get dinner. We can't go sightsee. Now he has walked that back a little bit, saying he's looking forward to playing in Brazil, and they got a lot of great football fans. I don't know how he knows that. But anyway, and I don't know. The NFL is trying to do the international thing, and they're going to make money off it. They're going to sell jerseys and hats and stuff in Brazil for the Eagles, the Packers, and other teams. They're trying to increase the brand. We always talk about the LSU brand. The NFL on a larger scale is doing the same thing. But when you got to tell the players to stay in your hotel room, I don't know. I don't know if it's such a good idea to go down. And let's hope there's not some horrible story that surfaces, you know, surrounding this game.
So the colors of both teams, the
That's
main
a gang color down there. Yeah,
is green. All
yeah.
right, Packers and the Eagles, and one of the big gangs, street gangs, one of the most big, the worst gang is their colors are green, and so it's like back in the day in LA, Bloods and Crips, that kind of thing. If the wrong colors go in the wrong neighborhood, it can cause a problem. Or if the rival gangs see you wearing the wrong colors, it can cause a problem. To the point where the NFL and the local, they've run billboards and done things PR wise for months to try to soften the whole green thing, which is just ridiculous that they're having to even do that. Trying to make it, well, green. Hey, green is good, and I mean, what is going on? Like, what if you've got to be concerned about the colors of the teams in the NFL playing in your city, and you've got to give an order to the players to not leave the hotel for their own safety? Why the heck is the NFL even taking that chance, doing that? That's absurd. That's absurd. And the Players Association should absolutely have a say in this.
I agree. Who came up with this idea? So many years ago, this idea came up, and why wasn't due diligence done to check out everything, to find out what is going on down there, and why are we going there? Now, here's a comment from James. Brazil just banned X or Twitter. It's illegal in their country, so you can't make any posts on X about this NFL game in any way. It's banned in that country, and whatever. That's a topic for another show. That's not Sports Shorts Daily, but anyway. So I mean, it makes you wonder, like, okay, who really said, yeah, that's a good idea. Let's do this, and again, let's hope there's not some horrible story that surfaces surrounding this game Friday, before the game, after the game. Something happens to an NFL personnel person, or a Packer or an Eagle, or I don't know if any American
Well,
fans of these two teams are traveling there or not.
there's fans of traveling there, sure. I mean, look, I mean, I had friends go to Sao Paulo in Rio. I mean, like, dangerous, dangerous, dangerous. I mean, look, you haven't been to downtown LA, you haven't been to downtown Houston. It's all about where you go, what parts of town, all that kind of stuff. I mean, like New Orleans. I mean, my God, So certain cities and whatnot have reputations, but um,
But see, I don't think the NFL tells the teams that go to New Orleans stay in your hotel. And we know there's bad parts in New Orleans. There's bad parts in every city. We know that.
I think it's a little bit of all of that. Um, I'm going to touch on two quick topics real here, and then I'll let Tommy kind of finish up. Paul Skeens, unbelievable. We're going to continue to talk about him. 9 wins. He had a shutout through 5 innings last night. His ERA is 2.13 or 1.4, which is unbelievable. Scotty Scheffler, not only did he win $64 million this year instead of $64 million man, but his caddy would be top, I think they said top 30 on the money list if the caddy was a golfer. I mean,
Well, his caddy's Ted Scott from Lafayette, Louisiana. Ryan, I think you know Chuck Kegley, who may be watching this show right now. Ted caddied for Chuck in a PGA Tour qualifying event in Houston years ago. I caddied for Chuck years ago, but anyway, but Ted Scott has probably made 10 million caddying if you count his endorsements, which he has, and not a bad deal to carry a golf bag around and make that kind of money. And the places he's been, the crowds, we know the whole story there. But yeah, you're right. So Scotty Scheffler got to be the player of the year, and wins the FedEx Cup, and money, money, money.
I've got a couple stories about Scott Scheffler and Ted Scott and the year they've had. We'll get to that on Friday. Sam Burns, congratulations. He finished 12th on the FedEx Cup money list. And Wayne Graham passed away at 88 years old. He's a longtime legendary Rice coach. He's their Skip Bertman over there in Texas. We'll talk about Wayne. I got some Wayne Graham stories on Friday. TK, tell us about your here, and
Well,
then
they
we'll,
got the big special today and every Wednesday, $6.99 for burger and fries. You can eat it here. They got tables and chairs, or you can get it to go. Tremonti says the hamburger and fries, $6.99. It's every Wednesday. Got lunch specials every day. Plus, they got everything you need for your tailgating this weekend. The LSU Nichols game, whatever game you're going to, high school games. They got all your tailgating needs, from the platters to the ribeye rolls, the shrimp rolls, meat, seafood, all the wine, bourbon, liquor, vodka, tequila that you need. It's all here at Tremonti's Meat and Seafood on Jefferson Highway in Baton Rouge. All your food and drink. They do catering service, a couple of big catering orders going out the door today. Where they're cooking brisket all morning in here. It smells great. If you have not stopped by Tremonti's Meat and Seafood, you got to do it. You'll be amazed at all the things that are in here. And we'll be back Friday for another episode of Sports Shows Daily. That's Tremonti's Meat and Seafood. Check it out. All right, on behalf of Mike and Wayne and everybody here at Tremonti's, Tony, we hope you have a wonderful day. Come get that special. Hey, I'm gonna repeat it: $6.99 burger and fries, and it's a world famous burger. It's the burger that's the official burger of the Baton Rouge Rougarou. Come check it out. I guarantee you'll bring some folks next Wednesday and get it again. Hope everyone has a wonderful day. I'm Tommy Christ, Sam.